So okay, let's continue our discussion about your staining. There are 3 types of your stain. We already finished the one. We already finished one. There are 3 types. We have your simple stains. We have your simple stains. The other one is your differential. Okay, we have your differential stains. And what is the other one? Yes, very good. Okay, we have your special stains. Okay, we have your special stains. We already discussed your simple stain, correct? Okay, now we go to your differential stain. What about your differential stain? What does it do? Okay, what is the purpose of your differential stain? Okay, your second type of your staining is we have your differential stain. What about your differential stain? Because your simple stain make use only of one single dye, which can be either again aqueous, water-based, or alcohol-based. Its purpose is to visualize cell shape, size, and arrangement of the bacteria. Okay, what about, sir, your differential stain? Differential stain. So let's talk about your differential stain. Okay, your differential stain, they are used. Differential stain are used to differentiate. They are used to differentiate. They are used to differentiate one group of bacteria. One group of bacteria. One group of bacteria from another. One group of bacteria from another. Okay, it is used to differentiate one group of bacteria. It separates, okay, one group of bacteria from another. There are 2 types of your differential stain, okay, which includes the 2 types. We have your 2.1. We have your gram stain. Sorry. Oops. Okay, gram stain. Okay, we have your gram staining and your acid fast. Gram stain and your acid fast. Okay, so your differential stain, they are used again to differentiate one group of bacteria from another. So let's discuss the 2 types. We have gram stain and your acid fast. Let's focus on your gram staining. Your 2.1. What is a gram staining? Okay, gram stain. Okay, your gram stain actually is one of the oldest and most useful methods of staining bacteria. Okay, this gram staining, they are the methods that are used to classify bacteria into gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Okay, what are the characteristics? Okay, what are the characteristics of a gram staining? Characteristics of your gram staining. Okay, first, your gram stain is one of the oldest and most useful methods of staining bacteria. Methods of staining bacteria. Okay, this method actually, okay, this method is used to classify bacteria. Used to classify your bacteria into gram-positive and gram-negative. Used to classify, your gram staining is used to classify your gram-positive and your gram-negative bacteria. Okay? Taas natin. What are the characteristics of your gram-negative and your gram-positive? The characteristic of a gram-positive bacteria includes, okay, they are gram-positive if they retain, okay, if they retain the initial stain, if they retain okay, if they retain the initial stain. Okay, if they retain the initial stain, which is actually your, what is your initial stain? Your crystal violet. Okay, your crystal violet. your crystal violet. If they retain the initial stain, which is your crystal violet, with of course, with mordant, okay, with mordant. What is our mordant class? Your mordant is of course your iodine, okay, your iodine. Mordant is your iodine. If they retain the initial stain, which is your crystal violet, with if they retain the initial stain, crystal violet, after treatment, sorry, okay, after treatment with mordant, di ko nasulat yun, after treatment, okay, after treatment with mordant, okay, after treatment with mordant. What is our mordant again, class? Yes, very good, that is your iodine, okay, your iodine. And decolorizer alcohol. And decolorizer, sana yung cursor? Decolorizer, which is your alcohol. Okay, if they retain the initial stain, which is your crystal violet, after treatment with iodine, which is your mordant, and decolorizer alcohol, those are under your gram positive. Okay, and if they retain the initial stain crystal violet after treatment ng mordant and alcohol, what will happen? And thus they resist staining with the counter stain. Ano ba yung counter stain natin? Okay, your safranin. Okay, and thus retain, and thus resist, okay, and thus resist staining. Resist staining with the counter stain. Okay, what is your counter stain again? Your safranin. Okay, your safranin. Okay, they are considered as your gram positive bacteria. Okay, they are gram positive bacteria. How about, sir, the characteristic of a gram negative bacteria? Okay, characteristic of a gram negative bacteria. Gram positive, if they retain the initial stain crystal violet after treatment of mordant, iodine, and decolorizer. So, nire-resist niya yung staining ng counter stain, which is your safranin. What about the characteristic of a gram negative bacteria? Okay, gram negative bacteria. Okay, your gram negative. Okay, what are the characteristics of your gram negative? If gram positive retain the initial stain, okay, and resist staining with safranin, your gram negative, they pick up the counter stain. So, baliktad. Okay, if they are considered gram negative, if they pick up the counter stain, what is again your counter stain class? Your safranin. Okay, your safranin. Okay, after initial stain. If they pick up, okay, meaning, hindi lang nire-resist. If they pick up the counter stain after initial stain, okay, after initial stain is wash out by the mordant. Okay, wash out by the mordant. What is your mordant again? Your iodine. And of course, your decolorizing agent. And your decolorizing agent. They are considered as a gram negative bacteria. Okay? Gram positive bacteria, if they retain the initial stain, which is your crystal violet, okay, and your mordant or your iodine, and decolorizer alcohol, and thus resist the counter stain safranin. They are considered gram negative if they pick up the counter stain, which is your safranin, after initial stain is washed out by the mordant and decolorizing agent. Okay, so that is one of the characteristic of your gram staining, one of the oldest and most useful method. Okay, that method is used to classify gram-positive and your gram-negative bacteria. Next, okay, we're following your mnemonic gram para mas madali nating matandaan. How about, sir, your letter R? Okay, your letter R. Okay, research involved in determining the composition of bacterial cell wall. Okay, decomposition of bacterial cell wall of your bacterial cell wall indicated that there was a close correlation. Okay, that's according to research. Okay, the relationship or correlation of your bacterial cell wall and its composition, okay, was indicated that there was what? Okay, there was a correlation. There's a relationship. There's a linkage. Okay, there's a correlation. There is a correlation, close correlation actually, between the gram staining, okay, between the gram, okay, that's according to research, between the gram staining results and the presence, okay, and the presence or absence of lipid, okay, of your lipid cell wall constituents. Okay, because if you're going to compare gram positive and your gram negative, it is evident, okay, according to research, that there is a close correlation, okay, between gram staining results, okay, and the presence or absence of a lipid cell wall. Why? Okay, if you're going to compare gram positive and your gram negative, your gram positive, they have thicker walls with more layers of substance called your peptoglycan. Which is, what is a peptoglycan? It is a complex carbohydrate which renders it resistant to denaturation of your alcohol. That is why the characteristic of a gram positive, they retain the initial stain crystal violet after treatment with mordant, which is your iodine, and decolorize your alcohol. Because one of the characteristic of your gram positive bacteria, they have the thicker walls with more layers of substance peptidoglycan. That is a complex carbohydrate. While your gram negative, they have much less peptidoglycan, and hence the initial stain can be easily washed out by alcohol. Kaya ang nasabi natin kanina, gram negative, if they pick up the counter stain after initial stain is washed out by the mordant and decolorizing agent. Bakit kaya ganon? Because of the characteristic of a gram negative, they have much less peptidoglycan. Sulat natin yan, class. Okay, sulat natin. Okay, gram positive. Okay, your gram positive, ano ba yung mga characteristic niya? Okay, why they retain the initial stain, which is your crystal violet? Okay, your gram positive class, they have thicker walls. With more layers, okay, with more layers of a substance, okay, with more layers of a substance called, anong tawag natin dito, class, which is your complex carbohydrate, peptido, okay, your peptidoglycans, okay, your peptidoglycan. Your peptidoglycan class is a complex, okay, this is a complex carbohydrate, which renders, ayan, kaya pala okay, which renders, okay, it resists, okay, it is resistant, okay, to a denaturation of alcohol, denaturation of what? Of alcohol. Denaturation of your alcohol. Tataas lang natin, class, ha. While your gram negative, okay, your gram negative bacteria, What are the characteristics again? They have much less. They have much less. Ano ang mas thicker ang kanyang layer? Peptidoglycan, gram-positive. Kaya nire-resist niya yung denaturation of alcohol. Kasi nga makapal. Okay, yung kanilang peptidoglycan. While your gram-negative, they have much less peptidoglycan. Okay? So, basing on their characteristics, since ito, peptidoglycan, mas lesser ang kanyang tinatawag na peptidoglycan. Hence, the initial stain, which is your crystal violet, can be easily washed out, di ba? Kasi nga, hindi naman siya ganoon kakapal, okay? Hindi siya ganoon kakapal ng mukha ni gram-positive. Charot, okay? Stain can be easily. Si gram-positive kasi makapal kasi ang mukha nun eh. Can be easily washed out. Can be easily washed out by alcohol. Because of their characteristic, they have less peptidoglycan. Okay, so that's for your letter R. Okay, your letter G, gram stain, one of the oldest. Yung letter R natin, there's a close correlation between the gram staining results tsaka yung presence or absence ng lipid cell wall. Kasi yung mas makapal, si gram positive, gram negative, gram positive. Mas mapakapal ang kanyang peptidoglycan, more complex carbohydrate substance yun. Kaya, it is resistant to denaturation of alcohol. Ang gram negative, they have less peptidoglycan, kaya nawawash out siya agad ng alcohol. Okay? Ang gram positive mo yan yung mga makakapalang mukha, 'di ba? Makakapalang mga apog na sinasabi nila. Yan yung mga kaibigan mong pumupunta sa party, hindi naman invited, tapos magti-take out pa. Ilocano, gisuputi, igado, kasjay. Ang gram negative, they have much less. Ito yung mga mahiyain. They can be easily washed out. Ito madaling mapahiya itong mga to. Okay, gram negative. Okay. Let's continue our discussion. We're still discussing the characteristic of your staining, gram staining. Gram. Yan sinusunod nating mnemonic. We're done with G, your R. We go now to your letter A. Okay, what about your letter A? What characteristic of your staining, gram staining, is your letter A? Anong characteristic meron ng letter A po natin? Okay? Who discovered your gram staining? Okay, gram staining was discovered by a Danish physician. Danish physician. Under the name of what? Okay? A Danish physician devised a staining procedure. Sino siya, class? Yes, very good. Okay, si Hans Christian Graham Bell. Charot. Okay, Hans Christian. Okay, Hans Christian Graham. Ba yan? Hans, asa na yun? Hans Christian. Okay, it's Hans Christian Graham. Kaya nga, gram staining. Okay, in what year? Very good, 1884. Kung kailan ka ipinanganak. Charot. Okay, 1884. Okay, in 1884. Okay, it was introduced or postulated by a Danish physician. Who is he? Sino siya? Si Hans Christian Graham. Saan na ba yan? Okay, Hans Christian. Okay. Wala, ayaw naman na magsulat, guys. Where is that? Okay, Hans Christian Graham. That can divide all the true bacteria into two physiological groups. Okay, si Hans Christian. Okay, wait lang ha, ayaw magsulat eh. Fix ko lang to. Ayusin lang natin. Ayun. Okay. A Danish physician devised a staining procedure under the name of Hans Christian Graham. Okay, that is why it's called as gram staining, that can divide all the true bacteria into two physiological groups. Okay, and the last one, letter M. Okay, letter M. Characteristic, okay, letter M of your gram staining. It is the most important staining method. Okay, it is the most important staining method. It is the most important staining method done in bacteriology. done in bacteriology in order to what? Okay, it is the most important staining method done in microbiology in order to facilitate the identification of the bacteria. Okay, of the bacterial specifics. Okay, so those are the characteristics of your gram staining. So we use the mnemonic gram. What is your first characteristic again? Gram positive is one of the oldest and most useful methods, followed by a research study which shows that there is a close correlation between the gram staining results and the presence or absence of a lipid cell wall constitute, because gram positive have what? Thicker or lesser cell walls. They have thicker walls with more layers of substance called peptidoglycan. Since makapal sila, parang pagbumuka ng beshi mo, okay, it is resistant to denaturation of alcohol. Ang mga gram-negative naman, ito yung mga mahiyain at madaling mapahiya, kaya madali silang ma-wash out ng alcohol. And then letter A, who postulated under the name of Hans Christian Graham in 1884. M, most important staining method done in bacteriology. Okay.